Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of the 12, our epic campaign of discovery and adventure across the continent of Corvair. This story will stream live Sundays at 6 p.m. Central here on Javelin Entertainment, and if you missed the last session, check it out on the channel page or by clicking the link down in the description.
Last week, in the midst of the Dreadhold breakout, Roland had depetrified a historic barbarian with a propensity for cleaving ships, but the bird had no trouble switching to eviscerating eviscerators and decapitating dwarves. Roland followed up behind the wake of bloodshed. Meanwhile, the dark elf Vadim had awoken from his dream and quickly pulled along and out of the red ward as alarms sounded across the prison. Theschault, Sindri, and Clyde finally left their room for shits and snacks, but ran into a Lawkeeper who had somehow seemed to have seen through their absolutely terrible facade. After getting the jump and tearing away the mark of the Arbiter, some greasy fighting and a neck-breaking blow from Sindri helped them get the amulet back. The groups all converged on the observation post with the Shipcleaver and Vadim, and apparently decided to show up with a friend as well. Through expert tactics, powerful friends, and a good bit of luck, they were able to overpower the guards and broke through the defenses, making their exit. As they made it down to the shore, Volarus and Corwin were waiting with rowboats, and they saw all of the Pallid elves being rounded up and surrounded by a group of strange armored guards, led by someone who is familiar to one of our intrepid adventurers. What happens to our busted-out prisoners next? Who all did get free, and will they make it off the island before the guards catch up? Let's tune in to find out.
Wait, who didn't get free? What do you mean who didn't get free? We're all here.
Who did get
We're
freed?
still on Prison Island.
This is true. But yes, as you all have made your way out of the prison from the broken wall and down the edge of the island, there are these rowboats set out, and you see Corwin and Volarus standing next to them. About 60 feet away from them, you see a man, and further behind him are these Pallid elves who have been kind of grouped up and are now surrounded by these armored individuals, all of them wearing masks. And as you begin to come down, Vadim, you do notice that this man at the front, wearing this long black trench coat and holding a staff with this gilded head upon it, is kind of like waving for you. What are you doing?
Vadim is going to look at the group and then look at the gentleman, give him a nod, and he's going to begin walking towards him.
And Jasira, you do indeed recognize this individual. What is your reaction?
So, I do have a question first. Do these seem to be the Pallid elves that were, I guess, just in the hull of the ship?
Yeah.
To everybody else?
Yes, as you see this group, you notice many of the colored markings and masks that denote Anya and the others who had been within the ship.
Well, I think initially she's just kind of going to go very tense and just kind of float towards the back of the group. She will not speak to him until she is spoken to.
All right, and Corwin and Volarus do kind of beckon you all as Vadim kind of breaks off from the group heading for this individual. You all are headed for Corwin and Volarus. The rest of you who are coming out, is there anything that you all are doing?
What's the vibe here? Is there like a standoff going on, or
make an insight check?
Can we hear the prison sirens going off in the background?
Absolutely. And there are actually creatures flying overhead above the ship, and as there was an explosion, they are headed in the direction of the castle wall. And so you know guards will be upon you shortly.
Boat.
But yeah, Boko, if you want to roll me that insight check, go right ahead.
Yeah, something just does not feel right about this.
Boko, looking at this and putting together pieces from what the pirates have said, you knew that they were looking for some sort of ransom. This is probably some sort of transaction. And you know that you were also meant to get someone out. This is probably an overlapping transaction that is occurring. And
Okay.
you're able to sense from seeing Jasira from kind of the front end of this kind of slowly slink to the back that Jasira has some sort of connection to what's happening here. And it's very obvious that these Pallid elves are all being grouped together as part of this. And you can see that whatever has transpired between Volarus and Corwin and this man and the others here, it is concluded, and they are ready to move off, and they just seem to be waiting for Vadim. And so as Vadim is coming down, they are ready to move out. They are not looking to stay around either.
Is Tove here?
Tove is not.
Okay. And they don't look like they're trying to take Jasira with them with the rest of the elves, do they?
So far, kind of scanning across, you're not sure if they've noticed Jasira. The man seemed to be waiting for Vadim, and upon seeing him come down, that's for now has been the only indication. But the man is kind of watching you all as you approach. You guys are still maybe 100, 120 feet out.
Yeah. Boko... does Boko notice Jasira sort of take a backseat to this?
Yes. Yeah, with that insight, there is definitely... She is moving along at the front, and then suddenly kind of stops and pulls back to the very back.
Boko will turn around and open... Oh no, he doesn't have his stuff. Never mind, I can't shit. Never mind.
You can't shit? That's a problem. You might want to get into.
I'm constipated.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I don't have anything. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jasir, are you paying attention to this group at all, or are you just trying to get to the boat and trying to avoid?
She is curious to see, I guess, any further exchange, so she is kind of keeping tabs on that conversation, if there really is any, but doing her best to stay out of his eyesight. Because she doesn't know he doesn't want her or not. And she certainly doesn't want to go back to where she was, so...
All right. So you all begin to make towards these rowboats that are on the side of this beach, and Vadim kind of breaks off, headed towards this other group of individuals. And Jasira, you catch some sort of connection, and you see that this figure clocks your presence. Doesn't seem to do too much, but makes a few steps over to to the group of Pallid elves and seems to call something out to them. And you see that one of the Pallid elves kind of steps forward, and it is indeed the red armored or red colored of Anya, who kind of steps forward, and they exchange a few words. And he kind of points out in the direction of you all, and then they exchange a few words again.
That bitch Carol Baskin.
And can we fucking insight that? I think I get advantage on it.
Sure.
I think. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Cause that is some sketchy ass shit. I don't need her over here. That's garbage.
There doesn't seem to be too much telling. There's not any innate aggression. There's not any innate emotion. It seems to be just a few words spoken, and the only thing that kind of even gives you context is a finger that is pointed at your group.
And so he clocked her, though?
There was definitely a moment where he seemed to scan across the group of individuals and kind of his eyes kind of locked in your direction.
FYI, Bree, you do have inspiration for this game. Just here,
to use it already? That's already not a good roll.
Don't worry, it can only get lower.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No.
I'm just making you aware.
I mean, that would be a 7. I don't know.
You can use it here if you would like.
When's a better opportunity?
I mean, when faced with your backstory, what do you do?
I mean, yeah, if this guy comes up and tries
Yeah.
to... Oh, shit!
Good call. Oh, man.
The infomercial. When faced with your backstory, what would you do?
You reroll inspiration.
Jasir, as you are watching this, you can, as you're kind of scanning off, trying to stay on the edge, you notice that this individual is particularly clocking each and every person as they come by of this group. And as their eyes reach you, they lock on enough that you know there is recognition there. You have not interacted too closely with this individual, as you are not there for very long, but you know that there is some sort of identification and understanding of who or what you are. And you see that with purpose, he walks directly over to the group and addresses all of them. And it seems as if Anya voluntarily stood forward and was not called out. And she came over and they had some sort of conversation where he pointed, and you can kind of ascertain that it's not pointing at the group, but pointing at you in particular, that he was asking something about.
I don't like that bitch. I don't like that bitch one bit.
I'm about to add an addendum to the note next to her name of just that bitch.
Thank you. You should. You should. That bitch. So about how far are we from them at this point?
You guys are reaching, you guys are reaching where Corwin and Volarus are. They're about 60 feet, and this other group is beginning to move away from you, and they are walking in the other direction. And as you guys arrive, again, Vadim has broken off and has now joined this other group, and they're beginning to head off. Is there any comments, anything that you all are sharing as this is happening? Or any questions that you are giving to Corwin and Volarus?
So, is she staying there with Corwin and Volarus, or?
Yeah, it seems to be. You're with the other group. They're all beginning to get into the rowboats that Corwin and Volarus have pulled up.
Well, I mean, like Anya as well as Galrath. Are they both there, or are they?
They are walking.
Like, she stay, or they all go.
Yeah, they are in the process of walking away.
But yet she stood up and came to the front. That's fucking weird. Yeah, I don't think she would do any hasty actions until she has more information. So she'll still just kind of stay in her place.
All right. Any of the rest of you having any final comments for Vadim as he leaves, or for Volarus and Corwin? Any questions for them as they are getting you all into the boats?
Oh no! Can you just everyone in the boat? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Questions can wait till we're safe.
No, all right. So we got what we needed to, right?
And you see,
we got what we came here for, right?
You guys can see in the distance, particularly Cade, and I believe Boko and some others can see these shapes starting to appear in the skies, heading in your direction. And as you all,
boat, there, boat.
All right, you all get into the rowboats and begin to sail into the sea, and Vadim and Galrath, as well as the others, begin to pass across the land, and you see about the same time both Corwin and one of the individuals with Galrath begin to cast a spell and pull an illusion over each of you of some sort of disguise. And Jasira, you hear something in your head. I look forward to meeting you again, Jasira.
So would she know if it's like a message or sending or something?
It certainly feels like something along those lines, and you can certainly try to reply.
Nah, she's okay. She's just gonna
left him on red.
She just wants to know that she's leaving him on red.
Yep. She wants to know if she's leaving him on red or not. It's fine.
All right. Well, with that, as you all sail away, I would like to thank Jeremy for his guest appearances and for helping out with the Dreadhold breakout. Thank you so much for your guest star here, and hopefully we'll be able to have him back for some more appearances later.
When Galrath makes a second appearance?
If he does, or as another character.
It's gonna happen, probably.
Alrighty. So as you all have made your way out into... Oh, I didn't even have it set up. Whoopsies. As you all are making your way out to the bay, under Corwin and Volarus' guidance, you quickly make it back to where the ship is kind of nestled back beyond, having escaped out of the range of Dreadhold, who is mostly limited to its physical location and does not have much way of attacking out, and are able to be pulled up on top on board the ship again, with kind of commendations from the crew as they all kind of welcome you, and more so than ever, you really feel as if there is a true camaraderie that is there. And Corwin and Volarus immediately kind of begin to walk with Iz and this new mysterious figure over towards the direction of the captain's cabin.
Is the Shipcleaver with us?
Boko, as you look around, now thinking about this, you don't see the Shipcleaver.
So, I would have been rather anxious to keep an eye on him. Would I have noticed when he left?
Yeah, I'll say, Roland, as you're getting into the boat, kind of thinking about this suddenly in the mix of everything that's happening, you see the Shipcleaver, who's kind of been following all of you tentatively, begin to turn and walk the opposite direction. Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Did I manage to get a bunch of scrap from all the shit I had looted off of?
You did. Sorry, I was supposed to send you that this week, but yes, you did get some scrap.
Ooh, gotta be some good shit in the eviscerators.
So Roland,
15.
You're not sure why, but you see that just as you all are loading into the boats and beginning to push off, he's kind of, not quietly, but subtly turned and followed after this other group led by Galreth, who are moving away.
Okay.
So Vadim and the Shipcleaver went with Galreth. What about the person that
this?
Went with they just went somewhere with one of the upper crew.
So once you guys got back onto the Pride, or back onto the Morgan, excuse me, Iz and this mysterious masked figure, along with Corwin and Volarus, all went into the captain's cabin immediately. And you all were greeted with much commendation from the rest of the crew as they all kind of came forward fully to congratulate you and kind of pat you on the back and hold out drinks and food and other accommodations.
Roland will take the first drink he's offered and just knock it all the way back. That was terrifying.
Also, 100% just...
Yes, Clyde, yes, we're getting drunk. Absolutely.
I'm going to collect so many shirts tonight. It's going to be ridiculous.
But we should probably go to the captain's quarters and see what this was actually all about. Because Vadim, who we went to get, didn't even come with us.
Mm-hmm.
Kid just wants to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
He's alive, and now she wants money.
Yep.
I'd like my money back, because I gave him my money.
I think you got that all back.
Did they?
Did you make a deal with anyone?
No.
Oh, then probably not.
Because I thought we were going to get it all back once we did the thing and we proved we're all piratey and shit.
Yeah, our next task was to get our shit back.
Oh.
I mean, some of us have our stuff back.
Yeah.
That just means we lost like 300 gold. That's fine.
I think we figured. I think we just narratively said that you were able to get all your shit back, because I think you missed that session was the deal. Or we're late.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Nicholas keeps shouting from the other room that you guys can't hear me, but I think he probably has me muted.
It's not coming through me. I don't have you muted.
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Oh, yeah, I hear you're calling just fine.
It's not muted on mine, so I don't know why.
You're just crazy, and that's okay.
You can't see Nick or Roland or David.
I can see David.
They're coming. Yeah.
Nicholas is not.
I can't
does not
see
have
Nick
his camera
though.
on, and
No.
you just
Roland
have this
is just
problem with
chronic,
my
yeah.
camera. I'm on stream.
Yeah, but
You don't get to
sometimes
watch
yours
me
will
eat ice cream.
randomly disappear.
I'm just monitoring stream, and if my camera dies on stream, I'll refresh. But until then,
Yep.
I think
client side issue.
having made it back, I think Boko would check in on Jasira once they're safely aboard the ship.
Yeah, you guys are safely aboard. You are set on your way, moving away. Despite Dreadhold's extensive resources, they are not very good at, well, they are not optimized to pursue so much as contain. And so they have some Manticore riders, but the Morgan is more than a match for them, especially once they get out onto the waters. And so by the time the rowboats meet up with them, it's probably a good 2.5 hours of rowing before you guys ever get on board. But once you meet up there, it is smooth sailing back out into the waters.
And as far as we're aware, we are headed towards the pirate island, which I'm blanking on a name right now.
Yeah, Port Crez was what they said they were headed towards afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, Boko, you're able to find Jasira on board the ship in the midst of this kind of congratulation, almost like a party on board the deck.
Has Tove made herself known? Is she around here too?
Yes, Tove has been on board the entire time, and she would have come up to congratulate you all as well.
Yeah, I think Jasira would have immediately tried to find her, and she wouldn't give her a hug or anything, but she would just put her hand on her shoulder and just, glad you're here.
I still think that you all are a bit crazy for accepting this, but I'm glad none of you died.
Yeah, can't believe that.
I feel like the hardest challenge might have been the one we faced before getting back to the ship.
She looks at you a bit odd. What do you mean?
The gilded man was there, and I don't know, it seemed like him and Anya were making a deal of some sort.
And just here, you would know this isn't the gilded man, but this is the one who he brought you to.
Oh, the other guy?
Mm-hmm. This is the owner of the estate.
Even worse. Fuck that guy. One guy helped me and then screwed me. That guy just screwed me, so. Yeah. Fine, insert Galreth.
Yeah, she looks very concerned. Just. What was he doing here?
Taking the rest of us, I guess.
This is very concerning.
I need to talk to whoever's in charge. I need to know why.
He took the others and not us?
Right.
Well, then we are most fortunate indeed not to be headed back there.
He seems to think he'll see us again.
I would hope not.
Agreed. And I think at that point she might take one of the drinks and throw it back.
Absolutely.
I think seeing both Tove and Jasir here, Boko would approach and just cautiously, not probing, but just checking in, just would say, "What happened with the other elves? Are you safe?"
I'm unsure. He spoke to me, and she'll just point to her head.
Boko nods and he just says, "Do you wish to be taken?"
No.
Then you will not be.
She'll kind of make a subtle nod. I need to know why the seal was made. What were the parameters? Why did Anya step up? I couldn't hear much.
Understood. I have something I wish to show you. Perhaps something you can help me figure out. The device that I built for capturing souls. It seemed to not quite work how I intended, but had some interesting failure points. Perhaps you can help me improve upon it.
I'll certainly try. It looked very well done from what I saw. Obviously it failed, but great efforts nonetheless.
There is somebody below deck who may have more ideas we can bounce our ideas off of. After the party, of course.
Let me know.
Boko will just grab a drink when he can, and we'll just, I guess, revel in the glory for a little bit.
Just be hot shit.
We survived.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
That went better than it should have, party.
Hallelujah, I'm not dead.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know where the captain's quarters is relative to the shindig, but I think she would probably try to stay on the edge of the party closest to the captain's quarters so that, like, should people come out, she can track them down to ask her questions.
All right. Yes. So this kind of party is happening all on deck, and the captain's quarters are at the far end of the main deck. And so kind of staying there. It goes well into the night. It is an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of drinking and dancing and songs and revelry, as those doors never open.
We need to RP every single minute of it, Austin.
Okay.
Hours.
Go right ahead.
In the third hour, Clyde is going to drag Theschault down, even though he's not here right now, to Tiff, and we're going to rip them gold teeth out.
Oh my.
You're ripping the gold teeth out of Tiff's mouth? Or out of
Clyde's mouth.
Out of Clyde's
mouth?
Oh my god.
Okay, sure. Let's...
Okay.
You know what? That's a pretty good roll, sure. We'll say that it goes relatively painless based on the amount of booze that Clyde has had.
Beautiful. That's what I was hoping.
Cure what ails you.
And then Theschault can get his golden stupid armor.
Does Theschault even need the golden armor anymore now that he has the Arbiter's armor?
But it is golden.
Sindri also got 2 plate mails as well.
I'm sure it can be, all that gold is good for artificers.
Was it 2? I thought you just had the one dead body that you were carrying, or did you grab another?
He grabbed another one. He was running out.
What?
He hoisted
Dragging
2
corpses behind him.
Do you remember what the other one was?
originally, and then that one got left behind, and I grabbed 2 during the big battle.
Yeah, we had the peacekeeper who questioned us, who got fucking murdered super hard.
Arbiter armor and Lawkeeper armor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you ended up with elite guard armor, so it's
that's fine. And also, he took up 2 guards to be like, no, I'm pretty sure this guy is dead.
I mean, also, we're pretty sure we have to return the Arbiter armor back to the pirates.
No, they said that you could keep it
and put it on the gold.
I thought it was the deal that we keep.
Yeah, it was part of your compensation.
That's pretty good.
We can keep it, but pretending to be an Arbiter is not a wise decision.
That's what it was.
No, but we have enough artificers. We can definitely change the design.
It's not a wise decision on a daily basis, but the one time that we need to fucking get out of a pinch.
No, the problem is Theschault showed his face impersonating an Arbiter.
Yeah, so he's already fucked. He may as well keep the armor.
I mean, he showed his face to the one Lawkeeper who you killed.
Oh.
No, we didn't kill the boss guy.
Yeah. The warden.
No, yeah. Theschault had his helmet on the whole time.
Yeah,
until the Lawkeeper knocked it off.
Yeah. That was the only time that it came off, I think.
Yep.
Theschault's gonna be in the clear.
No witnesses.
No live ones anyway.
Happen. But this world has raised dead. We can't be sure.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a real shit thing.
He was probably an important person. We should have kept his head at least when we left the body.
So that they can't do speak with dead.
Oh,
Yes.
They can.
We did not plan
They
this well.
can. It's just the body goes
Crap.
like this. Yeah, they went that way.
Oh, charades.
That way.
It's just like it's just the hand from the Addams family. It just like gets up and points. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Anytime any of my players go to speak with dead, I'm just gonna have the dead guy go like this.
Doesn't take a head to do somatic components.
But the spell specifically says they need the jaw.
Alright, but yes, it is late into the evening. Is there anyone wanting to do anything during this revelry or afterwards throughout this night? Or are you all headed to get some needed rest?
Sloshed, let's go talking about our pay.
I am collecting shirts.
Roll me a charisma check, Boko.
Roll a shirt check.
Absolutely.
We can talk about pay in the morning.
Holy shit. -1 to charisma.
Let's see.
Just checking who's on board.
You end up with a Lydia's shirt and some random dude that you've never met.
Lydia's shirt again?
Yes.
Is it the same shirt?
No. Well, I mean, I don't know. I doubt that it's the same shirt. They probably have at least a change of clothes, but you know, who knows?
I have both shirts now.
She's the one most likely to lose a shirt, though.
Just Boko goes and asks everyone, and Lydia always says yes.
Anytime
Depends
she
on what
sees
you're
him, she
offering.
just gives it to him.
Oh gosh. Anything else that anyone is doing this evening? Are you guys wanting to try and go inquire about your pay?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was
Are you
gonna do it in the morning.
are you knocking on the captain's cabin, Roland, or taking anyone with you?
I vote wait till morning when the captain's cabin door like opens.
You don't often see the captain's cabin open.
Yeah.
It's usually
But
like
we did see is a masked person go in and no one's come out, correct?
correct.
Okay.
That happened on Roland's left side.
You didn't see that.
But no,
Stop facing the wrong direction.
He'd head towards Corwin's door after the first couple of drinks, and is anyone like guarding it or stopping him or anything? It's usually closed.
I think Jasir was hanging out by the door.
So
She's hovering.
you're talking Corwin's door, as in like his cabin, or the sailing?
The place where we always went to get "This is your mission."
Oh yeah, that's the captain's cabin.
That's the captain's cabin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one with the big round table in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's the captain's cabin on the main deck, and then right above that is kind of like the sailing room where Volarus and Corwin often meet, that is much smaller and has just a small square table and some desks in it. And then
Gotcha.
Corwin and Volarus also have their own rooms on the deck below where they actually sleep.
Okay. He'd just be asking for where Corwin is.
Anyone
Wants to know
who
what's
anyone
next.
who is capable of giving a knowledgeable answer that is not just some sort of terrible joke or ununderstandable nonsense points towards the captain's cabin.
Okay. Yeah, he'll head there then. He's looking for Corwin. He's looking for what's the next step.
Okay. You give a kind of knock on the door, and it's a few moments before it is Volarus who kind of comes to the door and opens it up, and the big man just fills the whole doorway. Like, even his head is like above where it actually comes in. What can we do for you?
Breakout successful. I was wondering what the next step was, or when we would find that out. Just figured I'd check.
Drink and enjoy yourself tonight. You all did well. We'll talk with you in the morning once you all have had adequate time to recover.
In the morning. Got it. Thank you. And he'll turn and head away. Just kind of like always like, it's always in the morning. It's always after a drink. It's like no one is ever willing to just sit down and have the conversation now.
Yeah.
So inefficient to always be in the morning or after a drink.
Such is life. All right. Anyone else want anything this evening?
No,
I guess
pretty content getting shit drunk.
Can you go find Roland after all of it's done?
Yeah, sure.
After David stops chewing.
I thought I was safe.
You're never safe, David.
I was not.
But yeah, no, Kate finds Roland and just like, well, here's to a successful jailbreak.
That went much better than I thought it would.
Oh, I'm honestly very pleasantly surprised. Also, I do think I'm going to have to give out those large reduce in meter doses, otherwise Sindri might get a little too used to being that big.
Did you see the swing, though? The body just went flying. It was an incredible hang time.
But, I had a question for you.
Yes.
We're heading to Krez next. You ever been there?
History check, Roland.
Yeah, let me pull up a map real quick and...
Yeah. Roland, you are very familiar with what Port Krez is, though you've never been there yourself. There are extensive records of Port Krez being very akin to what you might associate with popular media as Tortuga, where it is just the home of all of the pirates out of Lazar, and is just this wild, untamed land in the heart of all of piracy within the Lazar principalities. And it was far on the opposite side of the seas from where you are familiar, down much to the south, but it has a very infamous reputation.
I'm familiar with Krez. Never quite made it there myself.
At least you know the reputation then. I'm hoping that you can help me keep an eye on these little doe-eyed virgins, so to speak.
Take fence!
Alright.
So don't go getting them drunk and telling them to make stupid bets.
Probably not. I'm just concerned that they might end up naked, sloshed in a trash can, someone pissing on them in the morning.
Isn't that part of the Krez experience?
Yes, I'm just concerned it might traumatize some of the people in our group. And
There.
just forewarning, it'll be busy time of year. The lots are being drawn toward territories, so everyone's going to be around.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Good to know.
Which is why I imagine we're heading there in the first place.
And why we made a stop for a rather large payday.
Well, it's always nice to have a bit of coin in your pocket.
Everyone.
But I just thought you might want to know. I got the update myself not too long ago. So, be a lot of pirates. Some of them are nicer than others. And, well, I do trust this group not to get into extensive trouble.
With an eye and a guiding hand, perhaps not. What do you know of the process of drawing lots? Who has a speaking role? Who do we watch out for? Who do I not piss off at all costs? Who maybe could get pissed off in order to avoid pissing off the don't piss off?
I mean, there's a lot of different personalities at the table. Let's say that. Let's say in general, if there's any captains walking around, perhaps mind your manners. All of them can hold their own, and, well, quite frankly, probably all of them can kill you in one way or another.
I usually assume that about most people I meet.
Fair enough. But Austin, it's usually like the king's in charge of the draw, right?
Correct. He leads it out of Reaver's Ridge, and usually the captains and their closest leaders all kind of go out together and leave the rest of the crews at Port Crez to kind of make the voyage out there for the draw.
Okay. But in general, the king's in charge of the draw. You and I won't be physically present. Just captains, first mates, most close and trusted people go out to see the king. The rest of us get to party it up on the island.
Fair enough. So, Austin, would anyone I know be coming to this meeting, or did we kind of operate outside of this?
Yes, you were not part of those who were associated with Crez. Okay. That was, you guys are an independent kind of group of people.
Independent contractors, got it.
Yeah, so and you had territory north of where most of these pirates typically operate.
Fair enough. Okay.
It'll be a fun time. Perhaps I'll introduce you to a few old faces. Some people that I know. It'll be a good time, I swear.
That would make for some interesting stories to be told.
Yes, never mind. Maybe perhaps I won't introduce you to anyone I know. There are far too many stories to be told from their mouths. And not all of them are flattering to me.
Oh, well, now I'm just going to have to follow you and meet them all anyway.
Well, they know what's good for them. They won't let anything too embarrassing let slip, I suppose.
Well, fortunately, we're about to get a good bit of coin, so they might be a bit more pliable with a few extra drinks.
I want to say no, but that is completely within the realm of possibility. They can all be bribed with alcohol. Well, most of them anyways. There are a few that are a little more tight-lipped than others, but you're lucky to even get a word out of them generally.
This, other crew, they're like family to you.
You just get just kind of a quiet nod.
Will you be leaving us to rejoin them then?
No. I was separate from them for a reason. I was heading towards the continent when I got waylaid by flying tentacles.
I was on the continent when I got waylaid by flying tentacles.
Funny how that happens. But, no. I was taking, let's call it a leave of absence. Had a different goal in mind. But, funny how I just start feeling back in the ocean.
Fair enough. Well, it'll be good to have you sticking around.
And besides, I've kind of decided that I'm going to make it part of my mission to make sure Sindri ends up back on dry land, not surrounded by water. I'm not really sure how long he can take it out here.
Just a few days longer. at least.
Oh, well, yeah. It's going to take us a bit of time to get to Krez. But, just wanted to give you a little bit of heads up on what we're sailing into. But, cheers for tonight, right?
Cheers for tonight.
Clink! Chug.
And cheers to my Norse accent suddenly becoming an Irish accent.
Relatable.
The character is Irish when he's drunk.
Isn't everyone, though?
Yeah.
Aye.
Like the defining trait of being Irish. No, I've been watching the end of Critical Role Campaign 2, and I've got a certain character's accent stuck in my head.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, is there anything else that you all would like to do on this eve after your successful escape and your celebratory party? Alright. And then with that, the evening does come, and you all do get a much needed rest and recovery from the escape, reacquiring all of your gear and items. And in the morning, you are quickly notified via Iz himself, as he comes down just where all of you have kind of found your general grouping of different hammocks on the bottom decks, and just kind of begins to shake one by one those of you who are not already up. All right, time to get up, get moving. Captain's ready for you all.
Oh my
Bright
God, what'd I do? Turn the tea out?
I think that's exactly what you did, bud.
Oh yeah. Dumb.
Damn it, not again.
I can't say I'll argue with you, but, you know, to each his own.
Alright, I'm up.
But don't keep the
I
captain
don't
waiting.
think
Get moving,
Kira's a
get
morning
moving.
person.
No,
I think
just
she's gonna give
yeah.
him a dead stare. Like, no. She's just like meditating and she's like, leave. I'll be out when I'm ready.
Roland is up, and he's not chipper, but he's very efficiently putting boots on, coat on, checking all of his gear, making sure it's done. So he's probably the first one ready to go with all the groggy swabs.
Clyde spends like 5 minutes cleaning out his mouth of all the blood and nastiness.
Sindri was not drunk, so he's up before everyone. I mean, I'm also still below deck hanging out, so...
Is he
Just
back in
shave
the
in.
There's a lot more room in there now.
Back to my spot. Yeah, and that's a good point of order. That cell is completely empty.
Oh.
Sindri would definitely like to question where all of his buddies are that he's been hanging out with this whole time.
There is no one else in
to
there.
incite the stew.
Choked too much and got everybody murdered.
But yeah, just while everyone's getting ready, and is going like rushing everyone along, Roland will just kind of step up as he's fixing the last strap and just go, "Where did you go?"
Well, I was in my room this morning, and then I came to get you all.
You know exactly what I mean.
Well, I had a different...
You're too smart for the dumb game that you play.
It's part of the persona, you know. You end up spending all your time with dumb sea scabs, and you become one. And you hear Zolo off to the side just, "Hey!"
Hey.
No, I had something that I had to take care of. You had something that you had to take care of. We got both done, so we're doing in good business, yeah?
Would have been nice to know that we weren't going to be able to count on you for the second half of the plan.
Well, part of showing that you are capable of being one of the crew is that you can handle things thrown at you. And you all did quite well.
In retrospect, yes, I completely understand. Still would have been nice to know up front. That's more of a matter of trust.
Well,
I'm still trying to figure out what happened to the sneak mission. Where'd the big guy come from? I thought that wasn't part of the plan.
it wasn't. It was actually part of a brilliant improvisation, I believe.
As this conversation happens,
I had to fill the gap.
Sorry, what was that?
No. As this conversation happens, Cade kind of walks by and, like, not even thinking, just takes a little bit of water from her hair and basically whips his, like, right in the balls and keeps walking.
Roll to see what yelps.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
See if that's what he's missing from his injury.
That was not very sporting, but I can see why there might be some pent-up aggression there. But you all really did well. I must say, there should be no reason for harsh feelings.
Go ahead, count and make sure they're all there.
1, 2, 3, yep.
I usually prefer a bit of privacy when I'm doing that sort of inspection.
Yeah, Cade just does that, walks by, and heads up on deck.
Alright, and as you all eventually trickle out of your rooms and begin to head up and into the captain's cabin, as usual, you see the long circular table and Volarus and Corwin at the far end. Corwin in his same typical position playing with his knife, and Volarus being the one to address you all as you enter. You all did quite well. I have to say I'm impressed that none of you died.
We do try our best.
Well, your best was plenty enough for this one. And he lifts up a few big sacks of gold and tosses them out in the direction, and they hit with a heavy thud. That's 5,000 gold pieces divided out among 8. 62 platinum and 5 gold for each of you.
Yeah, Cade just, no shame, just kind of like slides that back towards their end of the table.
62 platinum and 5
gold for each person.
Yep, 5,000 divided 8 ways.
That could buy a lot of stuff.
Oh shit, I can't wait till we get robbed next.
The next part of the story, whenever we have...
I'm about to say, what a great time to go into the pirate's den. Literally.
Guys got plenty of spending
so everybody
cash.
Gets how much gold? I think
62 platinum and 5 gold. It's 625 gold, but down to platinum.
Yeah. Easier is easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So 62 and how much? I'm sorry, gold?
5? Yep.
Okay.
We definitely need to sell that fucking gold armor to some snot-nosed brat.
You all...
There are
seem to have
those brats on and basically the equivalent of Tortuga. Or maybe someone that wants some gold teeth.
No, those went to Tiff. We traded those. I traded gold teeth for gold armor.
Loco, what were you saying?
Does Corwin seem to have fully recovered from the ritual?
Corwin looks fine. You still see that the bandages are there, but they seem to be clean. And don't have blood seeping through from what you can see. But he's not really even paying attention, just kind of focused around his knife. And Volarus is the only one talking.
If Corwin does catch eyes with Boko will just nod to him, but will not bring anything up unless Corwin says anything.
Okay.
Question, what ritual?
Yeah, you feel better after the freaky deaky you did with Boko?
Yeah.
Those exact words.
He can draw blood.
Corwin doesn't really even give a response there, but it's Volarus who continues. You all earned that money, fair and square, and a place on the Morgan as long as you want it as a member of the Pride of Dreadhold. You all have officially escaped the inescapable prison. We're headed to Port Crez, which is where, if any of us pirates can call a place home, that would be it. Once we reach there, your lives are your own and you can choose to stay on with the Pride for as long as you wish, or you can go your separate ways. Until then, you'll continue to be a part of the crew and assist as necessary, but being granted full benefits of the ship.
Sindri will have his hand raised.
Yes, Sindri.
When are you guys going to the mainland at any point? Soon?
That'll depend on the draw.
The draw? What are we drawing?
We'll be drawing
Every pirate
lots.
is assigned territories each year.
We spend most of our time out on the seas.
So we need to hitch a ride on someone. Okay, I see.
Sindri, I will make sure that you get back to land.
Okay, good. Ooh, or you can make us breathe in the water. We could just walk, right?
No.
It's not a short walk.
It's a very long walk.
But it sounds better than being on a boat. We don't know what another tentacle monster is going to fall out of the sky and crush us.
No, Cedric.
No.
Most of the time, the tentacle monsters are in the water. The sky ones are just unusual.
Sindri looks at you horrified.
Confirm, I've seen them.
Sindri, we'll discuss this later, but I assure you we'll get you back to the continent, okay?
This is even more reason to get out of the water. Why do you people stay on the water? The tentacle monsters commonly live in it, and they sometimes fall from the sky.
Not all the tentacle monsters in the ocean are
No. I'm pretty sure they're different. I'm pretty sure the one that got us was special.
Back on track, though.
Thank you.
Sindri's just considering what decision is actually the best
over in the corner.
It's like, I don't know what's going on, what is safe, what is happening.
Is there any more than you need from us besides performing standard duties on board before we reach Port Crez?
There shouldn't be anything else, unless we come upon a way to make a bit more cash on our way back. We are passing by the merchant routes, after all.
And you probably haven't seen the smile, but on Cade, but it's kind of like a cheeky little that might be fun kind of grin.
It's full benefits of the crew. Is it a situation where walk out that door and don't bother coming back kind of thing, or is it if we have business elsewhere we need to take care of, we still have a home here?
You all are welcome on the Pride at any time.
Good to know. And appreciate it.
This may not have been the easiest experience, but we don't pride ourselves on easy. You all have earned your place, and it has been given. From now on, you'll get the respect and candor that deserves.
And I think we shall give that in return. There has been a good deal about this experience that has forged us together.
A question, if you will.
Of course.
If we do have business upon the mainland, is there a way we can get in touch with you?
Do you have any sort of sending or message magic?
Oka looks at Roland.
We can send them a message if we need to.
Then there you have it. We are not dogs and do not respond on command, but we do what we can to assist our members.
And I think it should be said that that would go both ways. I do not presume to speak for everyone here, but should you find yourself in trouble, I imagine a simple call will bring us running.
Preferably if you're stuck on land.
If you're ever beached, Sindri will help.
Clyde, I saw Clyde over there making faces. Luckily, he's hidden beneath the table.
Yeah, exactly. Just like...
If you all are intent on making for the mainland, then I doubt there is much that we will have for you. But should any of you decide that you have found a home upon the Morgan, there are things that are coming that we could use all the help that we could get.
So things? What sort of things? And Clyde's hand's gonna come up above the table.
To be honest,
imagine the sort of things that you find out what they are after you agree to help with them.
of a sort. But you all should be worried, in any regard, and aware. There are rumors of ships being built, greater than any seen before, referred to as sea dragons. Massive vessels that are capable of destroying any and all who try and get in their way. Part of what we're discussing at the draw is how to address this new threat. And it will affect all ships on the water, whether you are engaged in piracy or not. It is a new force, and something we must consider. As members, you are provided that transparency.
Have I heard about these sea dragons being built?
This is a new term for you, Cade.
Okay.
Ooh.
And
well, better hope no dragons hear about them calling them that.
Cade, if you would like, you can go ahead and roll a history or insight check as well.
Okay. I like insight. Okay, got normal to on.
I also would not say no to another hunting mission for us going and grabbing something.
Mm-hmm.
Another cloud whale or something.
That'd be fine.
I think the DM gave a hint that the next hunt might be more ship to ship in nature.
Go grab something for Traglorn, sell it off and make some extra money.
Cade, the context of this, you can tell that there is not necessarily fear, but trepidation with this seasoned veteran of the seas. And as far as your knowledge, there has never been any sort of force that has ever posed any serious threat to the pirates of Lazar. During the last war, there were a few navies who tried to force their way in, but they were too focused on the wars of the mainland, and that was an entire nation's navy. So these sea dragons and what they represent, it must be considerable if all of the captains are meeting to talk and discuss on it.
Do we know who's building them?
We have thoughts and guesses.
And no confirmation.
Not as of yet. It's part of the things that we are working towards. Once we come out of the draw, we should have much more information. We will have all the information from the various crews, all in the same place.
And kind of just understood.
Are we privy to this draw as members, or is this more of like a captain and crew only, like upper crew?
Are you asking?
Yeah, Boko will ask, and he'll look at Volarus, and he'll just say, "This meeting, are we privy to this information? Can we attend?"
Typically, these meetings are held in a more isolated group of captains and close confidants. This one may be a bit different, and much of the crews may be accommodated. This will be a discussion that will affect us all, and so if you should like to attend and are willing to brave the journey through the ridge, then you may be provided a seat, but that will have to be discussed at a later time. For now, enjoy the ship and wait until we make dock at the island.
How many days until land?
About 9, assuming we have fair winds.
Plenty of time.
Any other questions?
Jasira just kind of raises a finger.
Yes.
What information, if any, can you explain about that exchange with the elves?
What would you like to know?
I don't know if you were able to hear the exchange between Galreth and the group. I wish to know, or rather to solidify why one particular elf stepped forward and then they still left.
I do not know the exchange, nor did I hear it. All I can tell you is that we are pirates and negotiated a ransom for each and every member outside of you 8 aboard the ship. The individual that you referred to as Galreth was the one who hired us to remove the dark elf Vadim from the prison, and also had an interest in the unique elves on board. We told them about the ones in the hold, but we left yourself and your companion Tove off of that record.
Much appreciated.
That is all I know.
Thank you.
He gives you a nod.
She would like to, I'll do an insight real quick too.
Yeah, go for it.
Just to ensure.
This individual is intense and is very stoic. And as far as noticing hints or tells or gives, you haven't quite spent enough time to notice anything detailed. And from what you can see, they seem to be giving even responses, but there are no gives or indications that they would be lying or truthful.
Response remains the same. So just thank them.
Well, if there are no more questions, then you all may make your way back about the ship. If you have any need of us, please come and knock upon the door of either this cabin or the one above. One of us will be in the 2.
Appreciate the payday. And Cade kind of like holds up her chunk and kind of gives a really happy nod.
Roland will follow with a similar nod. Well, not quite similar, but like a curt nod, pick up his bag, and then as he turns to leave, cast a glance towards the corner to see if the captain is Aragorning still.
Oh yeah, she is always there, just kind of smoking this long extended pipe, just a bit of smoke coming off, and her eyes are watching all of you carefully.
He'll give her a nod as well, and then
she raises her pipe in your direction at the nod.
You've been acknowledged. You're part of the crew.
One of us.
Part of the crew, part of the ship.
Right, come on, Boku. You gotta come help me fiddle with the still you made. Last time I didn't quite get it right.
Boko has many tinkering adventures that he would like to attend to
Okay.
in the next 9 days.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of downtime on this
At least you have
travel.
9 days. You can prioritize.
Yeah, and I just destroyed my soul container. But
Time to make another one.
exactly.
But later.
All right. So as you exit out of the ship, over the course of this 9 days, does anyone have any projects, anything that they would like to address?
Sindri would like to reforge one of his plate armors to fit him.
All right, Sindri, go ahead and give me a Smith's Tools check.
All right.
And I will say this is with disadvantage, working with the forge that is on the ship. It is not a full blacksmith's forge.
Clyde's going to be doing a lot of helping people, so he's going to be giving bardic inspiration to a lot of people, if that's all right.
Absolutely. I'll say you can roll bardic inspiration on this. That's a d6, right?
Yeah. Just because he's going to be working with his still, and that's not going to be too time-consuming at this point, hopefully.
Yeah.
Those are bad rolls.
Help.
Typically, reforming an amount of armor takes roughly about a week to fully get it fitting properly and well done. With this situation, you're able to make some good progress, and it looks like it will probably be ready about the time that you make landfall, but it'll have to be the thing that you focus on for the trip. Is that all right?
Sindri would not. There's nothing Sindri would enjoy more than spending 9 days forging metal.
All right.
So, below ship in the prison.
And so I will say that the forge is actually towards the middle top of the ship. It's actually close to the kitchen, as they both share the same kind of fire area. And so it will be up on the top. Does that change Sindri's plan at all?
Sindri would be much less happy about it.
And Sindri, you actually spend that whole time as Koba, the kind of stony individual, as well. Actually, I don't know if I've given his sheet yet.
Yeah, he's got the stone hair.
Yeah, where is Koba?
Koba and Tiff, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we don't have this one yet. Yeah, so you, Koba works this when he's not working the other side for the kitchen. He's usually in the forge, and you spend many a day with him, and it is mostly silent. Koba does not talk much, if at all, but is a very similar worker to you, and you see him kind of sharpening weapons, making small improvements, and a lot of detail crafting. He spends much of his day working on fine utensils and small filigree, and building up different jewelry and small pieces like that.
Sindri would definitely be watching him do his crafting as well while there. And quite enjoying the quiet workshop.
Perfect.
Oh, Clyde's next door. He's bothering you all the fucking time.
As expected.
Sindri has these grand plans for how he's going to spend the week, and first it's, forging in the prison, and you'll just it's going to be great, it's going to be amazing, and then it's up on deck. Oh. But he's got a really quiet helper who's just like him, and then Clyde. Oh.
Sindri's first day is just a downhill perspective of the week.
Then you find out that there's no quenching oil, and you have to dive off the side of the ship with the plate in order to quench it.
There is certainly quenching oil. It's just a much...
Kate,
oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Kate's going to stop by probably around the first day to find Sindri.
All right.
I see you hard at work.
What did you say? I can't hear you through Discord for some reason, so I have to hear you through the house.
Oh. I see you're hard at work.
Yes.
I just wanted to follow up and let you know, I meant what I said. I originally promised to you that we would sail together to the continent, and I intend to keep that promise.
Okay. Yeah. Also, wondering, do you know what happened to all of our friends that were below deck?
They would have been ransomed off to likely loved ones or associated comrades that would be willing to pay for them.
Wait, we could have got to land faster if we didn't help?
If you knew someone that was willing to pay for your life, then yes, you could have been ransomed and brought back to your home.
I mean, I know people willing to save me. How much, actually? How much would it cost for me to be freed? Is it like a standard? Is it mass-based, or like how tall we are?
Then how much? What is our going rate for ransoming people?
I mean, it vastly depends on the individual.
Okay. Let's say lowbrow Sindri, not a noble, like your standard Joe Schmo, but has got like parents with some money.
This is Sindri we're talking about. The pirates will pay to get him off the ship.
Typically,
Exactly.
to make it
will Sindri leave without his bowl?
to make a ransom worthwhile for an individual as part of a wider effort, it'd be in the hundreds of gold, so 1 to 500 gold typically.
Okay. To be worth it, transport, all of that stuff, 100 to 500 gold, 100 gold minimum. I don't know what your background is and whether your people have that much money. If you deal in money, do you deal in currency?
Chef sculptures? We don't really use gold.
Right. I think your best bet was breaking out of the prison, and now you're free to do as you wish.
Oh, also, will you help me carry my dish off when we leave?
I will have the Theschault help you. I am not very strong. My talents lie elsewhere. Lifting things is not my forte.
Aren't you magic?
Yes. But I haven't really practiced magic that lifts things either. I don't lift things.
Bro, do you even...
We should practice magic more.
Anyways. I could just make you big and you can carry it off by yourself. How about that?
Yes, that would be the most fun.
So much for rationing and larges.
Well, so sometimes it's just like, you know what? Here, have the phone, kid. I don't want to deal with you.
Oh, that is so relatable.
But, yes. So, like I said, we'll find transport at Poltkrez. There'll be a way for us to get back to the continent, because I know that you are very much done being surrounded by water.
You think the other pirates will try to steal my dish? It is very pretty.
Yes.
Most likely.
Oh.
Maybe you can take some of it now and leave most of it here.
I can't break it. we've addressed this.
Well, maybe it can be a
It's all or
beautiful
nothing.
memory.
I love how that level of frustration came from Nicholas and not like, very in character. It's like, why don't you take some? I've already tried that.
But maybe you can find a smith on Krez that can help you out. Maybe they can figure out how to break it into pieces. Because we're not traveling around with that giant thing forever, okay?
Sindri's gonna turn to Koba. Have you tried to work with the metal? Do you know what it is?
I could not
My
make
dish?
I could not make a scratch.
Do you know what it is?
No,
Hmm.
but it is pretty.
I know, isn't it? That's why I like it. Do you know someone that would know, or know someone that would know someone what it is?
Perhaps we can ask around on the island.
I don't always get positive responses when I talk to people.
This does not surprise me.
You know, Sindri, it's just
There's been a lot of telling me to be quiet since this I hit the surface world. Is that a thing you surface people do a lot?
It's a thing the pirates
on
do.
the person.
Are you here?
Clyde's everywhere.
Clyde's
just
in the
yelling
room
out
next
from the-
door, so I can definitely hear you.
It's through the fireplace and is like chiming in.
The wall
He's just
between
yelling
the
down the
kitchen
hall.
and forge is super thin.
Sindri, let me ask you this question. There were other people in the Underdark, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you think I was there? No one else was there?
Now, tell me, did you generally run up to them and ask them a bunch of questions and they happily, readily answered you?
Yes.
Where in the Underdark are you from?
So, like, you saw, like, a creepy, crawly creature just running by and you're like,
hello, Mr. Centipede. Yeah, I had a fine day.
Are you asking me if I talk to my food?
Sindri's a Disney princess.
Okay, let me ask this a different question. What did you get along with all of the races in the Underdark?
I didn't meet all the races, so I got along with the ones I hanged out with.
All two of them.
It was all of them?
Okay, let me put it this way. Was there anyone in your village that was particularly grumpy?
Sindri, did you find yourself doing treks to work by yourself, hauling materials because you were so good and strong at it?
Wow. I mean, the chief was grumpy and old, but he liked me.
How about the dwarves?
It's like talking to a brick wall.
Or something
I've
far
gotten that
more
too.
mysterious happening. And there's a whole tribe of Sindris underground.
Oh no!
Yeah. How about the dwarves? Was there ever a grumpy dwarf that you met?
I don't know. The people that taught me how to swing a sword said I should give up on technique and just hit things hard. They seemed frustrated, but I don't think they were mad.
Okay, so let me just put it this way. You should assume that pirates are just generally a little grumpier than the people that you knew in the Underdark.
No, I'll give them a great trick.
Water.
Sindri, if they ever
makes
get
sense.
grumpy, just give them some alcohol. It works 90% of the time. 10% it doesn't, you're already gonna fight, so.
I mean, it's understandable with them spending so much time around water. I'd be grumpy too.
You know what? Let me give you a better piece of advice. If you see someone with a weapon and any visible scars, assume that they don't want you to run up to them and incessantly ask questions.
I think Roland put her up to this.
You should apply that to everyone you meet, okay?
My dad says the only weapon you need are rocks in your fist. So would that be so everyone has weapons, right? Oh, are you saying that if I see someone that's missing their hands, I can ask them questions?
Okay, backtracking. Let me think. How am I going to get around it? Okay.
Sindri is as dense as a rock. This isn't gonna go however you want it to go.
Okay, tell you what, Sindri. I have a better plan for you. If this person is not already in a library or a laboratory,
Hey! We backtracked. We've made backwards progress on the whole, weapon invisible scar thing.
If a person is not in a library or some type of laboratory, assume that you shouldn't incessantly ask them questions.
I have a question.
Proceed.
What is a library and what's a laboratory?
A library is where a bunch of
Does this go on for 9 days?
It very well might.
This just keeps going for a while.
Yes.
Tell you what, Cade will spend an hour each day teaching Sindri
social skills.
Common sense.
Yes, very much needed. Very much.
Sindri's just fine the way he is.
He's going to be great if he grows up and doesn't get killed in the process.
He's tough to kill.
What he's trying to do is make sure the grown up and not die part happens.
Yep.
We'll assume an hour each day is spent teaching Sindri how to behave, not in the Underdark.
Okay. And I do want to walk back just a little bit because as you all were walking out of the captain's cabin, Cade, you would have seen is kind of standing nearby, and he tried to get your attention as you came out.
Oh, okay. Cade would her face turns a little stony, but walks over in his direction, arms crossed.
He puts he puts a hand down between his legs protectively.
Is he wearing a cup now?
I know there might be some hard feelings, but hopefully this smooths it over. And he kind of pulls another pouch out and hands it towards you. Hey, this is
Anyway, no hard feelings. Grabs the bag.
I appreciate your help.
You sure know a way to a girl's heart.
I do what I can, love. I do what I can.
And Cade walks away whistling a really jaunty tune.
All right. Anyone else doing anything across or I guess who else wants to go next as far as downtime? Yeah, Clyde.
Clyde's going to be doing his still, but every night he's going to use his moonshine still and dump that into the still that's making the other alcohol. See if you'll give me any bonuses for it.
I did tell Clyde that I was going to help him with the still on the first day.
Okay,
please
go ahead and roll me a brewer's check at advantage.
Please, 'cause I like the booze, but I'm not good with the booze. Oh wait, I'm proficient with that. Hey, so it should be
plus another 4, or plus another 2.
2 plus 2, so it's a 1. So 20.
So yeah, you were fairly close beforehand, and within the first day, over the course of that first day, you feel pretty confident that you will have it. You will have it ready for not this evening, but the following evening.
Cool.
Is there anything else that Clyde is doing during this downtime? And actually, if we want to get into that, so upon the second evening, as you have gathered everyone together, and as per usual, Israel is the first in line waiting for the drinks, and Tiff just strolls up, just walking forward, and just kind of steps out.
This golden smile.
With this, just smile that just gleams out. I'm here for my drink, my man.
As right is, you're going to have to just step back.
It's alright, gotta do what you gotta do. And he does kind of take a step backwards and kind of motions very overly ceremoniously as Tiff kind of steps forward and sticks out his chin.
And Clyde, first one's on the house, and Clyde's gonna give Tiff his. All the rest of you louts gotta pay.
There's a heavy groan.
Shit, he is part of the crew.
And Tiff takes the first one and takes a deep swig, and just it's this stuff. And immediately, like, 2 people from the back of the line begin to chase out of the line and rush after, and he just like books it and begins to run out into the ship. But as you begin to hand out these drinks, they are a heavy, stout brew. And on the eve of the second night, another celebration inadvertently begins as the drinking and merriment continue. Anything else that Clyde is doing across the rest of the journey?
Helping everyone else. And how much money does Clyde rake in from these these alcoholic?
How much are you charging for it?
Fuck.
We'll see how many people want to pay that price.
Say, what are our booze prices? Oh,
This is
oh no, I
deluxe
need to know. I was
that we've been working on for weeks, though.
I mean, they don't pay for the grog. The grog is just provided to them.
This is the deluxe shit.
Like
you can ask for whatever you want.
Ooh, that's pricey.
But where else are they gonna get it? What else are they gonna spend their money on the ship?
1 gold. That's the price.
I'll put 1 gold. Fuck it.
All right, roll me a d8.
Sure. How do I do this? There we go. That's a d6. That's better.
Hey, that ended up working. So you earn 7 gold as 4 individuals buy single uses and Iz buys 3.
Beautiful. About how much booze would you say I have left?
I mean, that did not take much at all. That was maybe a quarter of your supply.
Perfect. This keg's coming with us.
You could lower your price down to a silver and earn some more.
Yeah. But
Day old brew.
Fire sale. Now everything's 5 silver. So you can spy.
Just each day lowering it down.
Just a little bit more.
Okay. Anything else, Clyde?
No, I'm pretty happy.
All right. Did you say that there was something that you wanted to do across the journey?
Yeah, so I have 2 tasks.
Mm-hmm.
One would probably require talking to either Theschault or Boko, but one she can do solo. So about half the time, I think she just kind of wants to find a place that she can like train on the ship. Is there anything that she can like punch or kick at? Preferably like a punching bag. Or a dummy. I mean, yeah, there's actually a not an extensive, but a portion of the center deck that is kind of devoted to training, and there are often people sparring, doing different dagger combats, hand-to-hand combats throughout the day, and there are kind of a few very basic dummies that are set up in addition to some targets for some ranged activities. Very cool. Yeah, I think she'll probably hang out about half the time, so 4 or so days, just kind of training with whoever's over there.
Yeah. As you are over there,
stunning people, I hope.
As you are over there, Quinn is most often over there, and she's kind of like a hardened warrior. She's got this shaved sides of her head and this red hair that goes across the back, and is just this curly matted hair that is pulled into kind of a nestle on the back of her head, and has similar kind of ruddy armor and a long sword, and she seeing that you prefer hand-to-hand, kind of pulls off the blade and does give you kind of some hand-to-hand sparring, but upon seeing you quickly being more than her match, at least in hand-to-hand, there is another individual, another young lady with kind of this ruby red hair, just bright and crimson, and in these black robes with kind of red accents, and she comes over and she spars with you, and her name is in fact Ruby, and she is more than your match, and is in many ways, you can tell, has more years of practice than you do, and even kind of teaches you a few things as you begin to spar with her over the course of the few days. But you can tell that she has similar martial arts training.
Cool. Let me take this note real quick.
Damn, if I were
and then you send him Ruby.
Oh,
Ruby.
let her continue. I just want a bottle of moonshine.
Do it.
A bottle of the brew that you made?
I want to see how many bottles I could get out of it, because the moonshine will last forever. And if I have bottles of it, it could also be
purified.
The old Molotov, just in case.
Yeah, with
Okay.
King minus.
Say I don't know what the math actually is going to come down to.
No.
Quick maths.
3, 4. So that you'd have essentially the equivalent of 16 bottles if you wanted to bottle all of it.
Perfect.
You wouldn't happen to have a picture of Ruby, would you?
I do. Though you'll have to ignore some of the extraneous stuff.
Sure.
There's a bit of a, I don't know if it's bloodbending or red water or what, but that is not there. But the rest of it is accurate to her appearance.
I dig it. She looks like just the kind of trainer she needs, so.
Yes, but she does seem to have extensive martial arts training, and she has this peppy, upbeat attitude where she is much more akin to conversation and almost too much for Jasira's liking. But after a while, Jasira realizes that she's capable of just talking to herself enough that Jasira can just stay quiet and provide a few comments and keep her going.
Just the nod, the oh wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, that's crazy. Damn, that's crazy.
I'm getting a Ty Lee vibe.
Oh yes, exactly. Yes. That is spot on.
She's May, like, okay, shut up, but like she'll go. It's fine.
Yes, that is very
perfect.
accurate.
And then I'm sure, whenever Boko gets his turn, like she'll probably end up helping him with more of his little soul magic capsuling prototyping. So during one of those exchanges,
freaky deaky shit.
Indeed.
Yeah, but like it's not freaky deaky to her; it's her life. So. During one of those exchanges,
was someone else's.
Nah, it's fine.
Oh, why did
I own all of them.
What?
But yeah, during one of those nights or exchanges, she'd probably just kind of say, "You wouldn't happen to have any silver or something I could borrow, would you? I kind of want to mess around with my kit, and I don't have any metals."
Boko nods. He goes, I have plenty of silver, but we are going to need Sindri's assistance in order to utilize it.
Okay, I don't need much. I need enough for, like, a bracelet or a ring.
Of course.
I can probably do the rest once it's in workable form.
If you need it cut down to size or anything, me or Sindri can assist. But, you see, the state it is in currently, it is not workable. And
what's wrong with it?
Boko will just lead Jasira to Sindri, and after a quick conversation, ask Sindri to withdraw the giant spire of silver he has in his bag holding.
Yes, that's why.
Which is probably going to require big Sindri.
Which means get Cade and all that fun stuff.
I mean, Sindri ripped it out of the ground without Cade, so I hope he can pick it up.
Yeah, I will say that with over the course of this time, without requiring too much of Sindri's attention, you all are able to pull out this massive piece. And are you trying to get all of it portioned off, or are you just trying to get pieces that you need for now?
We should probably get it all portioned off while we have the time.
Yeah, between Koba and Sindri and the two of you, over the course of these 9 days, it takes some time, but you pull off and you find that it's about kind of an inch thick of silver lining across some sort of other metal that is the central kind of pole. But the silver lining on this gets you about 10 or 20 half ingots equivalent of silver.
We did agree to split that in half, right?
Yes. So I feel like this temple was not as rich as it seems, since its gold dish isn't made of gold and its silver pillar is only plated in silver. What is this?
And I can spare...
What was the other metal?
No, that is valid. What is the other? Platinum. Just
Yeah.
Is it any...
That's how they hide the platinum. They cover it in silver.
Yes.
So people don't steal it.
If the other metal is scrap of any kind or anything like that, I can definitely use it.
Boko,
And I
looking
can salvage it.
looking at this just rod, it is thanks, David. It's not quite the full length. It's probably about, yeah, I know, go ahead, just get it out of your system. Get it out. It's fine.
David's having trouble.
It's probably about 8 feet, and it's roughly about an inch in diameter, and it seems to have blue striations across it, very similar to some of the other metal that you had seen, or that you still have on your person. Or sorry, no, that you had seen within a pair of blades.
The bias.
Yes. No, I don't know if this is the same
It is indeed. It is indeed Bayeshk.
Also, that whole time, I had a sip of whiskey in my mouth.
Oh no!
You
Sucks to
almost
suck.
die was the highlight.
I think Boku will try to portion this out as well, because it seems to make good weaponry. And then when we get to a real forge...
And good mind flayer messages.
With the equipment that you have on the boat, you can scratch it, but you can't make enough of a dent in it to portion it out. So you can like pull shavings off of it, and if you worked at it for days, you might be able to shave through. But it is like, it's like using a pocket knife on steel.
Interesting.
Big boy.
How big is this?
It's 8 feet.
Ooh, I was gonna say Clyde could have his 10-foot pole.
Nearly.
I have a literal 10-foot spire of pure silver in my inventory. That's what I put down here.
Yeah.
So you were wrong, weren't you?
Not quite, but fairly close.
He can do it with his bare hands, so he should be able to do something with it.
Nick, you've got
You just got to mute on Ninja.
double speak.
So you said this is an 8-foot rod of Bayeshk?
Yes.
How thick is it?
It's an inch in diameter.
1 inch.
It was the core.
So not much girth to it, but...
Too much length.
But hard.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my gosh, Bree, that's inappropriate. Why would you go there?
But for all of Jasir's assistance with helping Boko and his spirit canister, he'll just give her one of the half ingots of silver.
Right.
I'm sure that's more than enough for a couple pieces of jewelry. So.
It is indeed.
Thank you.
How many did Sindri get?
10.
I forgot.
10 half ingots.
I have 10 half ingots instead of 5 full ingots.
Yeah, because of the thickness of it, it's not the full thickness of like an ingot, so that's why I call it equivalent to a half ingot. But that's roughly the size of what you're looking at, is the size of like an ingot, but only about like half an inch thick.
It was kind of like Sindri being, the size of a giant, but only about, half a giant.
Sindri can be as tall as a giant when he wants to be.
And then I'm going to leave the rod of Bayeshk in my inventory just so we have record of it.
Yeah.
But half of it does belong to Sindri. Once we can cut it in half and process it.
And
or you can just sharpen it and have a Bayeshk spear.
Yeah, can we just attach a really big hammer to the end of it, and that's Sindri's hammer?
That would be very heavy, but you could try.
Just a giant piece of metal on the end.
Well, no, he carries the stick and then he slams into the ground, pulled out the big head of
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, then we can put enchantments on the handle. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the strat.
The head is just disposable.
And then Boko.
But yeah, so I guess the remainder of Jasira's time will be, working on her own little pieces while helping Boka, I guess. So I'll be in the remainder of 5 days or so.
All right, everyone's hanging out in the smithy, so Clyde's just bringing everybody drinks.
Hell yeah.
Boko's going to be actually mostly below deck, trying to get Shay and Jasira into the same place, so that we can put all of our understandings of artifice and soul harvesting together.
We have plenty of days for late night rendezvous.
Indeed. And if you want to go ahead and roll me a Tinker's check at advantage for that.
I would love to. Advantage.
I do want to. Are you doing this in the smith room? Because if you are, Clyde can give you bardic inspiration.
I would not be in the smith room, unfortunately, because I don't think Shay leaves the under deck of the ship.
They've got a thing for light.
I don't think you really needed it.
Okay. We will
damn good.
Yeah.
We will get to that upon. Well, I'll say over the course of the next 9 days, you're able with the assistance of Jasira, who kind of points out the use of silver as kind of a close approximation of some of the things that she uses. You are able to use some of these silver materials and using one of those half ingots to kind of reforge a prototype across those 9 days. And it will take you the full 9 days. But before that quite gets complete, about on the 7th day, you hear a whistle that comes across on the deck as many of the sailors are kind of called to, and you see that Iz kind of comes up to the deck and kind of calls out for a few. We got a runner! Everybody man too! And people begin to move about the deck and prepare, and for those who have good perception, you can see a pair of white sails upon the horizon. And Iz kind of
his rifle and going straight to the crow's nest.
All right. Iz kind of runs over and begins to run up the Jolly Roger on the main mast. And multiple people begin to move to their posts. Is anyone else?
Boko's going to take a spot on one of the towers.
Okay.
Just in case.
I want one of those bobbers.
A little slower, though. He's not super eager about this.
Yeah, I think making sure that the scatter guns are loaded and the towers are loaded is going to be a good idea.
And you listen to the extinguishers.
Load.
Sorry, what was that, Jasira?
Jasira can load if we need to. So she'll kind of hover.
All right, as you all begin to hover, you see as Volarus kind of steps out of one of the cabins and kind of calls out, "Full sail! Move ahead!" and begins to kind of take command out of this. And this is one of the first time that you've seen Volarus take on a full role, but you can sense his presence as he enters onto the deck. And you see as Miss Lorister is kind of walking around the main deck, calling out commands to different sailors, pointing them to different locations as everyone begins to move into the place. And it's still a far ways off. It's going to be a bit of a chase before you all are upon this ship. But they do mean to give chase.
Why are we chasing a ship?
We're pirates, Sindri. We're pirates.
And we chase ships.
Because they might have it. Never mind, I'm in the crow's nest.
Yes, we do, Sindri. Just try not to get killed.
We're gonna let Clyde take this one.
Kate is done talking to them.
Sindri, just hang out by the ballista with me, and we'll see how this goes. You just load. I'll pull the trigger. I'll take that onto myself.
So, Clyde,
you look unhappily at the thin little giant arrow. That would be better.
Clyde and Sindri, as you go to move down to where the ballista are, you see that the ballista have been replaced with large cannons.
All right, well, there you go.
Yeah.
You happy?
Yes.
He's just like, oh, yeah, finally. But yes, as you begin to come to on these decks, and you see as multiple others are kind of gathering up near these cannons, and one of the pirates kind of comes by. All right, folks, make sure those clogged touch tools in need of scraping are moved out. The corrosion on those bodies got to be taken care of. The barrel swabs I've seen are naked as knives, and those beach ropes needs to be replaced before we get upon them. Let's get to move! And just moving in almost unison as they begin to flush towards the center and grab materials and move back towards the cannons to repair them, get them in flush condition.
What do I need to roll to know what he said?
Roll me an intelligence check.
Towards Clyde.
Clyde doesn't speak pirate.
Common? What language is this?
Just like, I'm going to the cannon.
Let me see here.
Clyde looks at him and goes,
I don't know.
Pirate ship.
Pirate camp.
We serve food here.
We serve food here. Is anyone else taking any other preparations or any spot that they would like to be upon the ship?
I mean, Cade's top deck, ready to have some fun.
Does Roland still have our paralytic Febreze bomb? That may come in.
Oh my goodness! So evil.
I think technically he probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Probably
it was
not one to let go of a gadget unless someone asks him for it.
Yeah, I imagine.
I feel like it's just gonna get all in the water if we use it.
Yeah, I think you had passed it off to Boca or Cade during the escape, but if that got passed back since it wasn't used, yeah, I would say that Roland probably still has it. And those who are on deck actually see as the captain herself comes out and begins to stand next to Volarus. And Volarus kind of looks down at Israel. All right, Papa, get up there. Start giving us a tune. And you see as Iz kind of climbs up one of the masts and begins to pull out an instrument as some of the others begin to get on these large drums as they approach, now getting closer within sight of this ship.
What the? That's an option?
And as he begins to play upon these bagpipes and the drums beat up, all of the pirates are moving now as the ship surges forward with these sails full out, and even these runners begin to extend as they begin to move at full speed towards this vessel. And let's see here. So as you all are moving across the waves, smashing up against the hull of the ship, moving across this, Roland, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Alrighty.
Very nice.
All right.
What do you see
Nice.
with one eye?
Everything.
He's looking the wrong direction. It's nothing.
But he still sees it.
Roland, you and Whisper are up at the crow's nest scanning across the horizon, and you can see that you are gaining upon the ship. It's not quite within range, but it is maybe a few moments from being there. But you can see off to the left in the distance some smoke and gunfire, and you can hear the sound of cannon fire. And there is some sort of commotion further off to the port of the ship.
Okay, so there's something going on the ship right now on the port side, and we're still a ways back.
Not on the ship. There's something else out on the ocean to the port side of your ship that is like far in the
ship.
Yeah, where there is some sort of commotion and smoke.
What? That definitely took a nat 20 then to notice something on his left side.
I'd say you're scanning.
Smelled it. No, he smelled.
Or heard.
Yeah, so hearing it, he'll swivel and like search out that way with an optic, with kind of a, I'm sure with that dramatic of a movement, Whisper would have noticed, and he'll just kind of pop his head out that way, because talking with Whisper doesn't really do anything. But he'll be scanning for what it is and trying to hone in on a closer look with magnification.
Yeah. You see that off to the side there is a group of thick black smoke, and you can see lights emitting from within the smoke, showing cannon fire or gunfire within, and you can hear the distant rumbles of cannons from where you are. And off to that port side of the ship there is some sort of combat occurring, and you can see a ship nestled within the smoke, but it is on the edge of your visual range.
Okay, so we got a fight going on over there between some sort of folks and a squirter getting away that we're chasing.
And actually, I'll say that with the natural 20 and with your optic, you can see that this ship is indeed another pirate vessel. They have some sort of Jolly Roger run up on their ship as well.
Okay.
And you can see that they are being waylaid not by another ship, but by something else. There is no other ship that they are fighting.
Oh, it's the fog itself.
Another tentacle monster. It's always the tentacle monsters.
We've had sky hentai, now get ready for sea hentai.
Isn't sea where the hentai belongs?
We're going back to the classic.
Yes, at the bottom of it.
And I will also say that this ship, you can see that its sails are giant crimson sails, and the at the front of the ship at the bow is a massive dragon's head that kind of breaks up out as the figurehead.
Crimson sails and a dragon's head prow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's the one getting attacked by not another ship.
Correct.
Off to our port? Okay. Yeah, he's pointing it out to Whisper, and kind of looking to see if there's any recognition from Whisper as to what to do. He doesn't want to raise an alarm when there's already prey in sight and that isn't affecting them that yet, but
yeah, as soon as he sees the hesitancy, he kind of gives this, or they kind of give the snap and then point down at where Volarus and Captain are standing, and with some urgency.
Yep, he'll just give a thumbs up and then vault over the side of the crow's nest, grab a rope, and slide down.
Yeah, you slide down and just kind of and land onto the deck, the main deck, just a few steps away from where the two are standing, and their focus is still on the main vessel to the front.
And he'll just land and say, "Over there, off the port side, another vessel under attack. Crimson sails, dragon's head prow."
There is a curse from the captain, and she whips out quickly the spyglass and pulls it out in a fluid motion to look out where you're directing. It's Sparm, all right. The damn rumgagger. What do you think, Captain? You're not good. Haul away, all you dogs! Miss Lorster, set a new course. Strike the spanker! Clue up before on main! Rudder to midship, come around! Hard to port, Mr. Vizon. I'll have her in the wind and high as she'll bear. Miss Lorster. Further main and fore, and ease your head sails, swabbies! And with that, the ship just curls and hooks as quickly as it was moving and turns hard to the left and begins making its way over in the direction as the runners begin to move at almost twice the speed. That's right. Miss Lorster, cross the T. You had him, lubbers! How you missing? And she looks over at Israel. Make a scream. And with that, Israel begins to move back towards his post and adjust his call from upon his pipes that he plays. And you all are now moving in this new direction, leaving this other vessel behind and making your way towards the smoke that is on the horizon. And Cade, you can quickly see, and Boko up at the prow now, as you're making your way in this direction, that there is a mass of smoke and among these giant red sails. And you see small lights of cannon fire and gunfire from within the smoke. And the captain still has the eyeglass out as she is watching.
It happened to be a dragon ship. Chance.
Yeah, Kate's gonna pull out her spyglass too.
Looks like they've run afoul of a brickleback.
Sea dragon.
No,
Prepare for full combat. Israel, where's my noise? And with that, Israel begins the pipe playing as well. And Cade, you bring up your own eyeglass to try and get a view of this. And go ahead and make me a perception check at advantage.
Okay.
What was the name that you said? That damn rum runner?
Barmore.
Barmore.
So the vessel with the crimson sails is attacking the other pirate, and it seems like they're winning.
No, the vessel with the crimson sails is the other pirate, and she said that they had run afoul of a brickleback. And Cade, as you bring up your eyeglass, you can see that there is indeed some sort of long green appendages that are wrapped up around the edge of this ship, and they have multiple individuals wrapped up within them that they are swinging across and tossing from the deck as these pirates are firing back at some sort of beast. And if you would like to roll me a history check at advantage.
That's a totally different story. Okay. Now.
Clocking the sails though, and hearing the captain, am I pretty sure this is the Crimson Haze?
You are indeed.
Okay.
Sindri, you're gonna meet the sea hentai a little bit quicker than we thought.
Yeah, this is indeed seem to be the Crimson Haze, and you know that their vessel is the Red Ruin. And you have indeed heard of a brickleback before, and for lack of a better term, it is if a baby kraken got in with a crocodile and had some sort of mixed spawn, that's essentially what you're looking at. And these are large creatures that are not meant to be messed with. And the fact that there is one attacking, and you did hear a reference to the code, you know that most of the pirates who operate out of Port Crez are under obligation to assist each other under dire circumstances.
Yeah, Cade will shout out to whoever's by her, basically, and just be like, Brickleback attack!
And you hear the captain's voice now call out, "Everyone, hold your fire till we get close. Not until we draw it away." And as you begin to move in this tension that fills as you begin to ride over, the captain then looks over to Volarus and let him know that we're here. As you get in within range, you can now see these long tentacles that move up as one tentacle before splitting out into four, and each of them wrap around individual pirates and swing them from where they are, pulling them off of the different sails and rigging. And there are gunfire and cannons and swords being drawn, and it is a full-on battle here. And Volarus moves over to one of the smaller cannons and launches what looks like a flare, just this bright white light that begins to emanate out, and all of you have to kind of look away, but the creature does kind of pull its tentacles back into the water and begin to pull away, and the captain kind of directs it. Now, cross the T, move back away. And Miss Lorester calls out a few more commands, and you pull back, and the ship kind of begins to turn, moving so that it is broadside on the oncoming creature. And you can see the creature moving under the water, and there's actually a flock of birds above it that are kind of following where it has been, and are already kind of beginning to feast upon some of the dead pirates on the deck. What are you guys doing?
Was there any way I could have asked Sindri to break up a couple of cannonballs so we can get some shotgun scatter effect?
Probably not, unless Sindri has a way of doing that quickly. But this is heavy lead shot.
All right.
Yeah, lead is pretty vulnerable to brittle. You can smack with a hammer. With a big hammer.
I mean, if you want to give me a strength check, you certainly can.
How far away is the creature at this point?
So as you kind of pulled with this flare, it's probably like 1,000 feet, but it is closing fast as it is underneath the water.
Oh, Clyde wants to go. All right, he wants to start handing out some of the moonshine, telling them to put it in the cannons.
It'll blind him.
We're gonna get drunk.
Well,
Then get it to lock us.
or incredibly flammable.
It'll get you drunk.
And you're not able to break the cannonball, but if you would like to roll, if you would like to put in some of the alcohol into the cannon, you certainly can. The captain kind of calls out to Boko and others, and you can see that it's actually Aegon who's up on the other tower. Towers at the ready and fire when it gets into range. And Aegon kind of swivels around, and Boko, you do as well. As you're still in the process of kind of turning to get broadside with it, you do have kind of an angle as it's beginning to rush towards. And if you would like to go ahead and roll me that D20.
Dream team here on the towers. Ooh. Perhaps not.
So Boko, you're on the far side, and yours just goes wide of the creature. And it looks like Aegon's does as well, kind of not quite aligned properly. But you see that another group, led by those large individuals, the large woman with the white hair, the large blue orc, and the massive purple creature, all throw out these bobbers into the creature from a long range and kind of hit one or two of them, and they begin to bubble up onto the surface as the creature kind of dives around. And you now see this massive maw opening with dozens of row of needle sharp teeth as it comes up and begins to kind of roar as it breaches before going back down. All right, pull away. We'll get to broadside. And the ship begins to kind of adjust more, kind of twisting to try and get broadside with the creature. And you can see those large bobbers across the water that are beginning to pull in. And Cade and Sindri are on the cannons. Is anyone else manning any of the cannons?
So Jasira would be near a cannon, and at this point, can she pop the little random fish soul?
Cannons need a loader and a fire.
To work optimally, yes.
Okay, because Clyde and Sindri were operating one.
Yep, and then we'll say Tove and Jasira on another.
Jasira can do another.
Yep. Popping which one?
Yeah, so can I pop the little fish soul that is had?
The little bitty one? Okay.
We're going to use that to... Yeah, well, because I don't really have any other use, so we're going to use it for advantage on perception.
Okay.
So that'll be good for aiming.
Sounds good. If you guys would like to roll a perception check, both of you, for an aim, you can.
Sure.
Yeah, Cade, knowing that we're going to try and probably stay at a fair distance, will pair up with whoever is randomly around and needs a partner to operate a cannon.
All right. Then you can go ahead and roll a perception check as well.
Yeah.
Hey.
Perfectly aimed.
Roland will pair with Cade now that he's down on the deck and
go for it.
sees that he's not going to be taking people out of riggings with a rifle, and he needs a bigger gun.
Yeah.
Alright, small people on one cannon, big people on the other. Let's see who does better.
Hey, our cannon's got bottles of booze in it.
You're throwing in bottles that cost $1 a piece, and some pirates are like, no!
Yes.
Gotta keep the
anything but the rum.
Slim.
The rum always gone.
And this is
Just Clyde shot it out of the cannon.
this is indeed considered a gargantuan creature, so all those are more than enough for the take game. And so the ranged weapons will have +3 to hit that target on its next attack, and makes the attack with advantage. So if now all three of you, let's see, we had Clyde, Jasira, and Cade, so we'll have, I'll go ahead and just have Jasira, Roland, and Sindri make the cannon attacks, which should use the same modifier as the ballista.
Oh gosh, what was that?
It's just a ranged weapon attack.
That needs to be?
Yeah, it's a ranged weapon attack. So it is your dex, or it is a d20 plus your dexterity plus your
Clyde, should you be doing this?
Yeah, probably.
plus your proficiency if you're proficient in martial weapons.
What? You're not gonna what?
And then you said we also got additional +3 with the good aims, right?
Correct. Yep.
We'll have the bard load the cannonballs, and then the stone guy.
Well, I thought you were.
Oh, and an advantage.
That's what I thought.
I aimed it.
Hang on.
But
If you're proficient in martial weapons.
If you're proficient in martial weapons.
No.
I am proficient in martial weapons.
Monk stuff.
There are martial weapons with which I am proficient, but
Do firearms count as proficiency for shooting these? Okay.
Yes, firearms would count for this.
Roland, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Just yours is the 20 because you said at advantage.
if you fire this one, I'll fire the next one.
Which is questionable.
What am I rolling?
It's gonna have 2 bottles of booze in it to fire.
D20 plus dex plus proficiency if you're proficient in martial weapons. And you're doing it at advantage +3 because all the aims succeeded.
Yeah, so Jasira gets a 20 on that one.
Ooh.
It's at advantage.
Advantage.
And +3.
Never mind.
Yeah, you don't forget your +3 as well.
I have a +3?
Yep,
Yeah.
from the aim.
Because we aimed
we
well.
took aim.
For the aiming.
Okay.
That's better.
There we
There you
go.
go.
Alright, and then Roland.
You're actually quite good.
Let's try again. +7. Damn. You gotta hit something.
It is an advantage.
Yep. Okay.
Got to a 10.
And 17 is the AC, so all 3 of these will hit as there is a massive broadside fire just and slam into this creature. And you can see that the other ship is beginning to kind of pull away out of the area so that you can fire freely and fight this creature as it is like limping off with some damage on its hull and masts. And as you fire off into this creature, you see that the kind of barrels that are moving on top begin to slow and stop.
Barrels or the bobbers?
Bobbers, sorry. I'm thinking that they're barrels because I'm thinking of Jaws.
Gotcha.
Do we need to roll damage? Sorry.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It should be 3d10 plus your dexterity.
Times.
How far off is this thing?
It is maybe 200 feet? 300 feet? Something like that by the time you get around broadside?
Hey. Sindri's had the worst modifiers and got the best for both for damage.
Yeah, well, because you rolled that 10.
Gotta play to the story, not to the stats.
You have been a lucky motherfucker all game.
We're shooting rocks at people. Sindri's an expert at this. He doesn't need stats. This is his thing.
But yes, as the smoke kind of clears from the cannon fire, you see that there is quiet across the water, and you see that the bobbers are just kind of floating out about 250, 300 feet off the broadside.
They don't appear to be moving at all.
They don't appear to be moving.
So it looks like they've broken free.
Potentially. And as you kind of look around, Roland, you see that there's a seagull next to you, kind of looking around.
Sindri, load
Does
the
it
cannon.
have antlers?
Sindri,
It does
load the
not.
cannon.
But you hear...
Yeah.
Drawing in the towers?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, seeing the bobbers gone, it's too quiet.
Yeah, we're gonna
Powder down the tube.
you begin to reload, and Boku, you are already in the process of reloading, and you see 3, 4, 5 seagulls, and you hear the captain's voice. it's under us, and then all of a sudden, goof, as the ship is collided and begins to be lifted up out of the air as it's turning on its side and dumped down, and you see a massive maw of this creature lift up as 1, 2, 3, 4 different tentacles rise up and begin to split out as they move towards the ship. And that is where we're going to go ahead and leave off for this session and pick up next time.
Well, that's a way to end.
I thought our boat was real good.
Yeah.
Man, Roland, you just had to see some shit, didn't you? You just had to see some shit.
Yep, I had to. But then, yep.
We could have
sounds like an elaborate plan.
Some merchants and just,
So,
damning our souls.
We're a little early tonight because we went a little over last time. But we will pick up.
We can go over again. It's fine.
I'll have to check the schedule and see what week we're off for April. But assuming that it's not next week, because I know 2 weeks from now is Easter, so we may default to that one. But assuming that we'll be here next week, we'll take the fight with the Brickleback then. And look forward to seeing you all then. Thanks.